Good morning and welcome back to my channel. This is Maviji from Valalar College of Education. As a teacher, we will be aware of so many things, right? That is different types of learning, rote learning, meaningful learning, all those things, right? And so many things we are aware of. And now, recently, a term has been introduced in the field of education, that is blended learning. Blend is nothing but it's a combination, it's mixing of something, right? It's mixing of some ingredients or whatever it is, it's a mixing. So similarly we are having a term blended in learning tactics also, that is blended learning. Here what are the things has been blended together? So blended, it's nothing but it's a combination of the traditional and modern. That is, in the traditional, that conventional instruction system has been followed, and now that online teaching and learning has been followed. So if you are following both together, that is, it's a combination of the conventional practice, that is the traditional classroom, as well as the online classroom. We are making use of the traditional techniques as well as the online resources together. It should be called as blended learning. Let me repeat it again. Blended learning is nothing but a combination of the traditional classroom as well as the online resources in the teaching learning process. So it should be called as blended learning. So let's discuss something about this blended learning. What is blended learning and how it works? When does it work best? Yes, it's the blended learning in organizations refers to the using of in-person classroom as well as online learning experience. This is what I told you. It's a combination of traditional classroom as well as the online learning classroom. Online classroom. It should give that experience also. Okay, and it can also be called as hybrid learning or mixed mode learning. Blended learning can also be called as hybrid learning or mixed mode learning. Okay, and it has so many advantages also. We are having so many models also. So what are the blended learning and how it should be used, when it should be used? Okay, we have so many models. That is blended learning. In earlier classrooms and all, we'll be using only the blackboard in order to explain something. If you want to explain about an apple, what will you do? You'll draw a simply an apple an image of an apple in a blackboard. And now in the online resources, by using the online sources, we can simply enlarge the size, and we can visualize the image. We can make the students to experience that, even that color also they can visualize, that image, that size, everything can be easily visualized, right? So by mixing all together, that artificial intelligence, what are the future, why we are utilizing this particular technique, why you people are implementing this technique in your classroom? That is, it has a good future. In our future, what will be the future, what is the scope of this, what will be the scope of this blended learning? So you can enrich that artificial intelligence, that virtual reality and augmented reality, all these things together will come under this blended learning. Only if you are using this technique, your students will be efficient enough to be aware of all these things, that artificial intelligence, virtual reality and augmented reality. And the curriculum, so in the traditional classroom, usually the syllabus and the curriculum, everything will be framed by the scholars, by the educationists, right? And now in blended learning, the curriculum will be somewhat different. Okay, it should also be in some advanced level. So it will be given, it will be focused on so many things. That is, it will be focusing on the research, partnership, student learning support, then professional development, and it is also based on the infrastructure facility of the organization. Okay, and all these things will come under the blended learning curriculum. And the next one is, with the help of this blended learning, what will be achieved? That is, inquiry project based learning technique you can utilize, and tech integration, global connection, game based learning, direct instruction and peer-to-peer coaching, focus on mastery, virtual learning platforms. So all these aspects, in all these aspects, we can easily enter with the help of this blended learning technique. And student centered blended learning, you have to think one thing, that is, this technique is student centered or teacher centered. Usually the student centered method will achieve its largest part, which achieve its greater part while compared to the teacher centered. So we can easily say that is 100% sure that this blended learning technique will come under student centered. So in all this particular, while if you are implementing this particular technique in your classroom, surely it will be based on the student centered. It will focus on the enrichment of the students. Okay, so what are the things it has been focused? Teacher led instructions, that is face to face sessions will be arranged, web based assessment also will be focused, and computer mediated instructions will be given to the students, and printed instructions also. So all these four things are focusing only on the students, hence it is called as student centered method. And that environment, if you want to apply that blended learning technique in your teaching learning process, how the environment should be. Okay, so it should be instructional design theory, but it should be like a multicultural workshop, and facilitated group work should be there. Web based assessment, not that paper pen correction and all. Okay, web based assessment should be there. Teacher led instruction, textbooks and reading should be encouraged there. Computer mediated instruction, all the instructions will be given through the computer. Okay, and so many worksheets and self reflection sheets will be provided to the students. So the blended learning environment will include all these things, right? So what's the difference between, I told you that it's a combination, right? That is the traditional classroom and the online classroom. So what's the difference between these two things? But first one, that traditional has been named as human here, and that online has been named as technology. So in that, human motivation, personalization, feedback, fluency, listening, relevance and discipline were focused, and then technology, mobility, structure, tracking, self-study, reduced loss and global reach, all these things has been focused. So if you blend all these things, if this is a combination, if you are mixing all these things together, you can get a great term, an efficient term, that is blended learning. Okay, so it will focus on some other different things also: rotation model, flex model, self blend model, and enriched virtual model. So all these things will focus on the blended learning. Why adopt a blended learning model? Why? What is the reason for adopting the blended learning? Yeah, we have some major reasons to adopt this blended learning. If you encourage your students to adopt this particular method, means surely it will increase their progress. Okay, and it will encourage the use of digital tools also. It will boost that equality, and it involves the parents also to get involved. Okay, to get interest in their learning process of their kids. And it also makes the students, I'm sorry, are not the teachers, to personalize their learning. It increases the students commitment and motivation. Okay, that's why these technique, this tactic has been encouraged all over the world by the teachers and the students. So let's adopt this method in our teaching and learning to become a great learner as well as a teacher. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.